Hi, my name is Samantha Sills. I'm a grateful recovering alcoholic addict. I am 39 years old and my drug of choice was all the things. Before recovery, my life, I was lost, broken, and alone. I had God. I always felt the call of God. I would be high and listening to worship music because I was afraid of everything around me, paranoid. But I always felt the call. He was always in that story. But it wasn't until I entered recovery that I was able to begin developing a true relationship with God. It was about 90 days in, and that's when I first really surrendered. My life before recovery and before Christ was the definition of chaos. I couldn't really hold a job. I didn't feel. Let's be honest. I didn't really feel like I was living. I was in this very hollow shell of me, and I knew that there was something more for me, but I couldn't beat the addiction. I was able to get sobriety here or there, but I couldn't figure out why. Why didn't I have the power? Why couldn't I beat the addiction? So finally, on 11/2/23, I went to a drug-induced psychosis. I got up that morning and had done 5 different things: alcohol, weed, mushrooms, cocaine, and whippets. And I think self-consciously, I was trying to end it all. I had asked God the night before to heal me or kill me, and there's a line in a song that says, "I sought the Lord and He heard and He answered," and He did, and He answered that prayer. I went into that drug-induced psychosis on the 2nd of November of 23, and by the 9th of November, I was in recovery, in a recovery program, and I didn't fully surrender to God until about 3 months into that program. I'm still trying to fight the battle on my own. Overwhelmed and tired, and I was sober by then, but I still knew that there was something missing. And so there was an altar call at church, and I went up and I just laid it all on the altar. Addiction takes practice, right? We've got to do it multiple times for it to become an addiction. Well, so does faith. When you give your life to God, then begins the real work. And if you don't do that work with Him, you're gonna fail, right? So, I got to 6 months sober and I graduated that program, and then, I kept doing all of the recovery work, and it wasn't until I came to Set Free that I really, really felt God and His presence. Set Free isn't just a church. You walk in there and you're home. You walk into Set Free and you're not going to have anybody judging you. You're not going to have anybody saying, oh, she should have done this or he should have done that or whatever. You walk in and you're home. The Bible talks about agape love, that true, perfect, unconditional love. And even though we're human and we're not 100% capable of offering that love comes from Jesus Christ. I can tell you that everyone in Set Free, we make it a point to get as close to that as we can. I love Set Free. It's my home. I have the honor of being having been the worship leader at Set Free, and that's really how I draw closest to God is is through music, is through worship. But following, Pastor Jacob and all of my sisters and all of my brothers, everybody kind of brings their uniqueness to Set Free, and so we all kind of, it's give and take. We all give each other the best of our love and our advice through Jesus and through our word and through our actions. It's just a beautiful thing. It's a family. I didn't feel like I really belonged anywhere else. Even I'm nearly 2 years sober, right? But over this past year, being a part of Set Free has just solidified my relationship with God, and it's only deepened my faith and allowed allowed me to grow closer every single day. So, yeah, that's that.